Welcome back, Art Gang, Art Kids. James calmed the guy on the bike, and it's a Sunday afternoon. We're down here on the bottom of the Lower East Side. We're gonna run in here to Regina Rex and see a show by E.J. Hauser titled Amphibian. Well, E.J. is a little bashful, so she doesn't want to appear on camera, so she will be joining us as another disembodied voice. So, this is E.J. Hauser. Can we see the back of your head? Not even that. Well, tell us about the show. What's the title?
The title of the show is Amphibian.
Amphibian.
Yes. Amphibian is a word that in Greek means two lives or a life submerged.
Okay, so we've got not only paintings on canvas, but you've also got some paintings on paper here. And what's the title of this?
That piece is called Berlin
Berlin?
Amphibian 2.
Berlin Amphibian 2. And that was the kind of the beginning of this one. But here you've kind of flipped it, is that right? You've got one facing one way, the other facing the other way. Kind of.
In this one's called Twinned Amphibian, and you'll notice
Twinned Amphibian.
You'll notice that the bodies are mirrored, but the faces are not.
Okay.
The faces are.
What kind of oil paint are you using? That's a really nice scraped on yellow.
There's that yellow is. I'm pretty much a Gamblin in Williamsburg.
Gamblin, okay.
Person.
Oh, you got more money to spend on oil paint than I got. Is this ink on paper, sumi ink, watercolor,
it's
tempera?
Actually a soluble.
Soluble.
Pastel, water soluble pastel.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, one of the things that I was kind of interested in, I've been watching your work for a while. You're one of the kind of Williamsburg, Brooklyn artist painters that has been around for a little while. And I started seeing your work, I guess it's been 6 or 7 years ago, and you're doing a lot of work with text.
Yes.
And again, with these pieces here, you're also using kind of like images of images. A lot of these have been kind of maybe drawings that you've pixelated or something like that, so they're kind of once removed, like a piece of text would be, kind of.
You could definitely say that. I think that the ode to text is still buried in the mark making.
Okay.
You kind of see like S shapes in
Sure.
the snakes, and I feel like the kind of gestures that are used.
And this is all oil paint that we're looking at here?
It's all oil paint, yeah. And I feel like the kind of gestures that you see are very much the spirit of the text. But, pixels actually isn't really what I was thinking initially, although a lot of people do see pixels. But I was thinking speed. I was thinking the kind of fastness with which I draw, carrying that over to a kind of quickness of paint.
This wasn't something that you put into Photoshop, blew up, and turned it into pixels. It's just the way that you're making your brush strokes?
That's correct. It's the kind of brush I use, which is a flat.
Flat, not a filbert.
Not a filbert or a round or any of those, but a flat.
Give us the title on this piece.
That piece is called Garden Dwellers, specifically Winter. You see there's like lots of S's in here and little F's, and you can kind of free associate letters like little Y's.
Now also, most of these have got a nice kind of a knifed-in ground on there that you're working on. Is there a lot of underpainting that goes on with these, or do you try to hit it one time, or how do you proceed when you're making a painting?
I guess I do believe that paintings can die, that it's very difficult sometimes to resurrect or breathe life into a painting that has died. So there's usually a few layers underneath these grounds, and the reason why I knife them on is so that you don't get a lot of the drawing that was in the layer previously. I knife it on pretty heavily, so it's almost like a clean start.
And is that so you can just keep the surface slippery and move the brush around nicely?
Yeah, so it's fast.
What's the title of this piece?
That piece is called Frog Mountain Clock.
Okay, so frogs are kind of a reoccurring theme in this piece, and don't tell me 30 by 24 inches, is that what that is?
Oh, gee, Lauren, you are amazing. You're like a human ruler.
I've measured a few canvases my time. This is another work on paper.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about the paper. This looks like it's just like newsprint that you've, again, painted with. Is that the soluble pastel that you're using there?
It is, yeah. And I think Canson makes a kind of pH neutral newsprint, which I like.
Expensive newsprint.
This is one of the Smiler series.
Smilers.
This is the purple Smiler.
Okay. This one is more like, say, 32 by 20, something like that. But this
33 by 29.
Okay. Now here again, you've got some impasto, you've got some layering going on, which is very nice. Now you teaching? Are you teaching at the studio school?
I do visiting gigs all over the place. I've been at the studio school. I've been to Hunter recently. I'm going to be at Yale on Tuesday.
Oh, Yale.
People are inviting me places, which is nice.
What's the title of this piece? And then we got more of the S's.
Yeah, this is a garden dweller also, and this garden dweller is a spring version.
The spring version, okay. We'll take a look at this one here, then we'll run back into the second gallery.
This is called Ghost Frog.
Now, a lot of these are basically just one-color figures on backgrounds. Is that something different for you? Have you kind of reduced things down for a particular reason?
I've really concentrated a lot on black and whites in the past, and so I'm kind of comfortable, I guess, with doing two colors. But
I was going to say something like this. It kind of shows off the fact that you do have a wonderful color sense. And a lot of times it's not about how many colors you use, but the colors you use and what proportion you use them in, things like that.
Yeah, I guess that I prefer not all the colors of the rainbow in one particular picture. I have, I guess, a simpler kind of draw to color. But as you can see, there's a couple of different reds that operate in this picture, and so there's a kind of subtlety that I'm interested in with color.
And also, you are, I would say, a confirmed oil painter. Would I be wrong in saying that? Confirmed. An addicted oil painter. But again, talking about color here, so you've got basically a red background, but you're saying there's some variations, and then a lot of this black drawing, but then just floating through there, these nice little highlights of the blue. And like you were saying, if you had 1,000 various colors, that blue would not pop like that. The red in the background would not read the same way. So I think it's nice and subtle. And this is another thing where you've got just a very simple, I guess you've got two drawings that you've collaged together there, but kind of the dark violet blue on top and the vermilion drawing on the bottom. And the drawings, that's probably 18 by 12, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
How do you see your relationship between the drawings and the paintings? You're saying you like to kind of draw when you're doing the paintings, but obviously there's got to be some kind of a little difference there. Maybe there isn't.
Well, Lauren, probably when you first started looking at the work, there was much more what I would call a kind of reactive painting, which is you put up a mark and then you kind of react to whatever is up there. I would say now the work is really coming from a very dedicated drawing practice, and I do this thing called Drawing Lab. It's the kind of game that I play to generate lots and lots of images. And then that's a kind of non-judgmental, non-critical, more stream of consciousness place.
Well, I think I saw some photos. Maybe it's in the catalog. Oh, tell us about the catalog. It's available here from Regina Rex.
Regina Rex, yes.
$15.
$15.
Tell us the title of this piece. Now, this is maybe the largest piece in the show?
This is the largest piece in the show. The other piece I made for the show didn't fit in the door.
Well, that'll teach you.
This is 63 by 60.
I was gonna guess something like that.
Yeah.
But here again, you know, you've got, I don't know whether someone would call this kind of a pop approach, when you kind of simplify things and it almost has kind of a graphic sense to it. But you never do lose the feel of the hand in there, kind of the little strokes and the
There was a nice article
impasto and the sliding.
the new Carol Dunham show, and he kind of talked about his idea about making diagrams.
Oh, everybody wants to make diagrams now.
And I kind of
there's
could
an R.
relate to his idea of diagram paintings. Why does everybody want to make diagram paintings?
They didn't until somebody started getting publicity for doing it. What's the title of this piece?
These are also from the Garden Dweller series. And the one on the left, the blue and the white one, is the summer iteration, and the one on the right is the autumn.
Okay, summer and autumn.
And then as you can see...
Do you project these, or how do you know, because it looks like you get a pretty consistent variation of these themes. So do you project those?
First I project and kind of do some outlines, you know, little marks for things, and then go back in.
Because you don't want to be slavishly
Just
copying it from the projection, okay.
Well, you want to have some drawing life in it still, you know?
Okay, here's the last piece. And is this the original drawing that you started a lot of these other ones from?
The title of this piece is called The Original Garden Dweller.
The original. Uh-huh. Makes me think of maybe a Matisse view of the garden or something. So we've got kind of a garden gate and maybe a hedge on the side there.
Lots of little snakes in the garden.
Is that all the... It's that garden.
It's not that garden.
I guess every good garden should have snakes in it. All right, E.J. Hauser. And we're looking at our exhibition here at Regina Rex. What's the address?
The address is 221 Madison Street.
221 Madison Street.
Lower East Side.
On the very bottom of the Lower East Side here in Manhattan. Thanks, EJ. And as always, thank you, Kate.